Hello everyone and welcome back for another Trinity Stamps video. This is Cassie. It is Sneak Week over at Trinity Stamps, so I'm going to be sharing with you some products and I'm so excited because they're going to be released soon. We're going to be making a 5x7 card, so I went ahead and die cut out the panel that I needed using the Modern Embossed A7 dies, and now you'll see I have a bunch of dies that I've already die cut out. These die cuts come from the brand new Cheers die and it is fabulous. And there is also a stencil called Pop Fizz that can be used either with the dies or separately. And I'm going to show you both ways. I'll show you how to use it with the dies, and I'll show you how to use it separately. Right now with the dies, I've got my die cut bottle. I'm just matching that up on the back with the embossed lines that are on this stencil. And I am going to do just a little bit of ink blending. I want to add some depth to this bottle, give it a reflection. So I'll bring in some shark tooth ink from Ink on 3 and I'll blend that on that side of the bottle. I'm not so concerned about that upper piece because that's going to get covered, but this will just add a little bit of depth and I love that. And so I'll take one of the pieces up above. It's that silver piece that I've die cut out using some of my specialty paper, and I'm going to just go ahead and glue that down to the top of the bottle. And then we'll move on to adding some depth and dimension to the rest of the pieces of our bottle. And I was kind of strategic with the colors that I chose. This is going to be a wedding card for my daughter. Yep, that's right. So now I'll bring in a burgundy ink color that I have in another Blender Buddy, and I'm just going to blend that on that lower right-hand corner. I have really no rhyme or reason as to where the light source is coming from, and just kind of putting the shadowing and the shading where I think it looks good. It's usually always my motto. Seems like I try to maybe have the light coming from the upper left, but it's different every time. And then I'll bring in a light pink and I'll blend that onto these two pieces. And then I want to bring in a stamp. So this stamp is going to come from a brand new stamp set called Simply Sentimental Happy. And I'm going to stamp just this small word happy all around that piece. I want it to just completely cover the piece. And this stamp set, when you see it, oof, it is a must. It is awesome. All right, now we'll go ahead and start attaching down our little pieces. I'm going to put this at the very bottom of my bottle. I know that most of the time when you've got wine bottles or champagne bottles, that usually goes up a little bit higher, but I'm going to make this a really fancy bottle. I've seen some really fancy ones where that bottom piece, it's almost like it's covering the whole bottom of the bottle. And so that's where what I was going for here. And I'll attach down these other little pieces, and then our bottle will be ready to go. Now I'm going to bring in that panel. Well, here I decided to do a little bit more blending. I have a black Blender Buddy, and I'm just adding just a little bit of depth to the rest of the bottle. And now we're finished with our bottle. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of mint tape to put at the bottom. I want to make sure that my bottle and the glasses that I'm going to blend on here don't look like they're just floating on the paper. I want to ground it a little bit. So I'll bring in some black soot distress ink and I'll just blend some of that black on the very bottom. It'll just look like when I set my bottle on there that there's almost like it's sitting on a table or something. So I'll blend that all across the bottom and then peel away that paper. And there you have it. So now I can bring in the stencil again. This once again is called the Pop Fizz layering stencil, and I'm going to do the champagne glasses. So I want 2 of them, and I'm going to take that shark tooth and not blend like really heavy, but I am going to blend that white on there. It looks so good on that craft, and then it gives the, the look of actual champagne bottle without, almost like it's translucent like a champagne bottle would be. And I'm pretty happy with those. So now I'll bring in my black Blender Buddy again. I did get some blended on the bottom, but there are more pieces to this. So I'm going to blend these other portions of the champagne bottle and just using that black soot again, but doing it very lightly over the top of our shark tooth. And that will give just a little bit of reflection and some depth to these champagne glasses. So we'll do it for both of them. And then when I'm happy with that, we'll kind of position and see how we want those on there. And now I need to stamp another word, happy. So I'll stamp that on some white cardstock and then use the matching die to die cut that out. I'm going to place that onto my panel And then I've got a couple other words from that Simply Sentimental Happy stamp set, and I'll just take that black ink and stamp those around the happy word, and it says, "Oh, happy day." So I'll take all that away, and now I just want some splatter because, well, that's what I do. I love splatter. So this is some rose gold splatter. I'll just splatter that all over that background. And you can't see it as well here, but you definitely can see it in person, and it definitely shines. And now I can attach down the rest of our pieces. So I'll attach down my champagne bottle, and then I'll attach down that word happy right in between O and day. And then I'm going to bring in the card base, which again is a 5x7 card base, and I'll bring in another happy word from the Happy or Simply Sentimental Happy, stamp that on the inside, and then another word from that stamp set is everything. So I'll stamp that underneath. So yeah, the outside says, "Oh, happy day," and "happy everything" on the inside. I'm going to put some foam tape on the back of my panel, and then I'm going to attach that down to my card base. This is going to leave a little bit of a border, and then it just pops that up a little bit. And I can't stop there. I have to make a matching envelope. So I've pulled in the A7 envelope builder and die cut it out using that same paper that I had used earlier. And now I'm going to start assembling my envelope. So I'll show you how to do it. You definitely want to use a very strong adhesive. I usually recommend a liquid adhesive that just holds a little better. And then I attach down that first side, and you got to hold it for 30 seconds or so. And then I can attach down my second side. And yes, you'll notice this is a very textured cardstock. It's more of a specialty paper. So when I send these through the mail, I actually put them inside of clear envelopes. So I have clear envelopes for all of these. And then after the sides are attached, I can attach down the bottom. So it's basically the same way. I like to use a little bit of glue, put it directly onto that paper, and then on the die die cut that I'm going to add to it. And then again, you got to hold it for about 30 seconds or so. Just want to make sure that's good and adhered, because the last thing you want is your envelope to fall apart in the mail. And I've had that happen, and that's just awful. The recipient literally received just the envelope, and it was just partial. The card, goodness knows where that ended up. So there you have it. Now that all the pieces are attached, I'm going to go ahead and adhere the sides together. So I'll adhere those, hold that for 30 seconds or so. Then I can adhere the bottom flap, leave that top flap open, obviously. And once that's done, our envelope will be done. So here is our card a little bit closer up. Look at all that beautiful splatter on that background. Once again, that uses the Cheers die and the Pop Fizz layering stencil, and it goes in our envelope very, very nicely. But I love it. I just love how this card turned out, and I hope my daughter loves it also. So yes, be sure to check out all the sneaks this week. There is lots to see. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And as always, I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.